System update. Extremes are not the majority. There is a fundamental lie embedded in modern political, cultural, and economic discourse that the extremes represent the whole. They don't. Extremists are extremists. They are not Muslims. They are not Americans. They are not progressives or conservatives as a whole. Calling the extreme edge representative of the majority is the oldest trick in the book, and it works because it is useful to power. Extremes are useful. Consensus is dangerous. The majority, by definition, does not like extremes. If a population realizes it agrees on 95% of priorities, then the debate shifts away from the problem and toward the solution. That is an existential threat to entrenched power. Because once people understand that there are more of us than them, control becomes fragile. So the illusion must be maintained that half the country is radical, that the other half is irredeemable. That compromise is impossible. As long as people believe the extremes represent the majority, power stays exactly where it is. This is not new. This dynamic is ancient. It existed in tribes. It existed in empires. And it exists now. The tools change. The incentives do not. What has changed is the speed at which systems can now update. The system update is technological, not ideological. If we move toward blockchain-based verification, AI-assisted systems, hard money, certifiable truth, then the outcome is already known. That is why smart leaders are already updating their systems. Trying to stop AI or blockchain is like trying to stop the sun from setting. It is futile, and the resistance itself is revealing. There will be a bifurcated world going forward, economically, socially, relationally. Not along left-right lines, but along truth versus illusion. The cave and the light. Some will exit the cave and seek light. Others, frightened and manipulated, will prefer the comfort of shadows, convincing themselves that what they see projected on the wall is reality. This is not abstract philosophy. It is operational reality. Once you see the code, there is no unseeing it. You can pretend for a while. You can defer the conclusion. But the ending does not change. COVID was the mask falling off. COVID was not just a crisis. It was a stress test, a test of the compliance, fear thresholds, narrative control, identification of dissent, identification of independent thinkers. At this point, believing it was only about public health requires an aversion to light. The variables are now known. And once camps are formed with clarity, the outcome becomes inevitable. Systems either serve users or they update. Systems exist to serve the end user. Balance is achieved when users' needs are met within human nature constraints. When a system becomes so imbalanced that the only way to thrive within it is to do wrong, the system must update. There are only two paths. Option 1. Cave dwellers dig in until collapse forces a reboot. Option 2. Light seekers reach consensus and update the system in real time. There is no third option. Why nothing ever gets fixed? If the incentives of the people fixing a problem require that the problem never be solved, then patches replace solutions. Modern political theater depends on this. Broken systems are profitable. Dependence is profitable. Permanent crisis is profitable. Real solutions would put entire platforms out of business. That is why they're never offered. Hierarchy is not the enemy. There will always be hierarchy. This is nature. In a healthy system, like a wolf pack, the leader is chosen because they best protect the group. When they can no longer do so, they are challenged. When hierarchy becomes inverted, when the weakest, most corrupt, and least beneficial rise to the top through misaligned incentives, the update becomes inevitable. This moment was not accidental. This is not the same administration, not the same cabinet, not the same assumptions. The system believed it could erode constitutional rights, normalize surveillance, institutionalize censorship, weaponize justice, create economic bifurcation, maintain legitimacy indefinitely. It was wrong. Extremes are not a threat. They are tools. Truth is the threat. Permissionless systems change everything. The real danger to entrenched power is not radicals. It is permissionless systems, uncontrollable, unpredictable, solution-oriented, self-updating. Open debate collapses extremist positions inward. That is why censorship escalated from unthinkable to encouraged to openly discussed. To those clinging to the cave, censorship is not wrong. It is necessary to keep the shadows intact. There is no putting this back. The genie is out of the bottle. The system update is accelerating at the speed of compute. Position your life accordingly. Help those you care about do the same. Liberty is contagious. A taste of freedom can make you unemployable by broken systems. You do not need a hero. You are the one you've been waiting for. When that becomes consensus, system update becomes fully operational. ICT.